Hey everyone, I'm going to give you a tour of my real food, paleo, minimalist-inspired kitchen today. This would have been really helpful for me to see 6 years ago when I first started a grain-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, refined, oil-free diet. And I felt really intimidated at the prospect of removing so many foods that I had counted on from my life. I was like, well, what is left to put in my pantry? So hopefully this video will give you an idea of that endpoint, that kitchen makeover, what it looks like just to have real food, paleo-friendly food in your pantry and in your fridge. The one thing I want to mention before we get started with the tour is most of the food that you'll see in my pantry is from Thrive Market, and I so highly recommend Thrive because it's like real food Costco meets Amazon. Like your local health food co-op is thrown in there as well. So what you do is you pay a small yearly membership, just like Costco, and then you get access to 25 to 50% off your favorite wellness food brands and also supplements. So I end up saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year, and I'm not exaggerating. The savings are really significant. So if you want to get started with Thrive and see what it's about, I have a $60 off link below in the description box, so you can use that, get $60 off your order, and give Thrive a try. So now let's go explore my kitchen. I'm going to start with two of the kitchen tools that I use most frequently, and the first one is my water filter. I use a Berkey water filter, and this is the most affordable and convenient way to remove both chlorine and fluoride from your water. So I live in Seattle, I have city fluoridated water. So very nice of them to add neurotoxins to the water, but it's my responsibility to remove that. So I love the Berkey because unlike so many other filters, it has the option to remove fluoride. It's also non-electrical. It just works with gravity, so it's great for emergency preparedness. The other tool that I use on a daily basis is my Ninja blender. I love this because it's a really affordable alternative to the Vitamix or like the Blendtec. It has very similar power capabilities, but it's just cheaper. And links will be for almost all the things that I mentioned here down in the description box below. And while I'm in this corner, I'm gonna just walk you through all my cabinets. Like, let's open up all the cabinets and see. So I've got dishes in this cabinet and like vases on the top up there. I feel like the cabinet situation in my home is not ideal, but I just work with it. So let's go see what else is in here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you like pantry baking supplies stuff. So here I have all my grain-free baking tools, or baking ingredients. I've got coconut sugar, and then I bake with like 3 primary grain-free flours, which are coconut flour and cassava flour and arrowroot. I also got coconut oil and ghee, which is handy here for cooking and baking. I've got my other baking ingredients up here, like honey and maple syrup. And then top shelf, I've got extra salt and coconut sugar and collagen. And then this is my favorite olive oil from Thrive Market, and lots of avocado oil. These are my primary oils. And then up here, I have my vegetable spiralizer, which I use all the time to make vegetable noodles. This is my produce basket, so I've got lemons and squash and potatoes, and then olive oil and avocado oil over here, which I use for cooking as well. In this pantry, I keep all my spices. So a lot of these I have in the larger jars, but I also found it really helpful to find these small jars, stick little labels on them. And that allows me to have some kind of setup in my a little bit awkward pantry space here. And then I've got teas. Then I've got extra pantry staples. So I'm going to show you what I have currently in rotation in my fridge, and I just have extras up here. So this is my salt drawer. I love this little seasoning salt organizer, and I use this all the time for cooking. And using different salt is a really easy, simple way to add flavor. So I have Herbamare, which is my favorite grain-free seasoning salt. Here I've got different kinds of flake salt and truffle salt. I want to show you some of the non-toxic baking dishes and cooking tools that I use, because that was part of my transition to a natural lifestyle as well, was getting rid of the Teflon and the foil and the things that leached icky stuff into my food. So I primarily use stainless steel pots, and I got a great set from Costco for a good price, and that's a fantastic alternative to non-stick cookware, is stainless steel. I also like cast iron, so I have this really well-seasoned little cast iron pan. I've also got my essential skillet. I love Le Creuset because it's non-toxic, it's coated enamel, it cooks really evenly, and it's a safe cooking material. It is an investment, but these pieces last forever. So what I use for baking as well is I like stainless steel baking sheets rather than non-stick. What I do for really easy cleanup is I use parchment paper. This is non-toxic, unbleached parchment paper, and I line all my baking sheets with this. I also line like cake pans. This has like a silicone non-stick coating. It's from USA Pan, which is a line that my health food store carries, so I do trust the brand, although I don't know how pristine it is, but what I like to do is line this as well with the unbleached parchment paper. Also, like glass Pyrex is a great non-toxic baking option. Again, I'll line this with the parchment paper if possible, just to make cleanup really easy. And you can also find these unbleached baking cups, which if you don't want to replace your coated muffin tins, this can be a great option to line them with these liners. So in these cabinets I have more cooking tools. This half is dedicated to my supplements in use, and I am a nutritional therapist, so this is like a fraction of the supplements I have in my home. I actually have a roll-out cart in the closet in my office, but this is just currently in circulation. Some more cooking tools, mixing bowls, Cuisinart and handheld blender up in there. I've got dishes in here. And then down here, it's the most awkward L-shaped cabinet, and it like goes way back in here, and the cabinet door is that narrow, so I'm going to pull out the food that I want to show you in this pantry space. So these are just a few of the like snacky, pantry, fun, paleo-friendly foods that I highly recommend. So I love these macadamia nuts from Royal Hawaiian. Macadamia nuts have the healthiest fatty acid profile of all nuts, so I like to keep those on hand. I always have sardines in my pantry. Really healthy, accessible source of protein. I like to mix this up with like a little bit of Primal Kitchen's mayo and some relish, and then I serve these with plantain crackers for dipping. These are delicious. They are cooked with palm oil, so that's a heat-safe oil instead of like a vegetable oil. I also love Jackson sweet potato chips. These are cooked in coconut oil, super healthy option. Epic bars. I love the beef apple uncured bacon option. I always have coconut milk, canned coconut milk on hand. This is my favorite for like tea. This is my go-to milk substitute. Sweet potato puree. This is really helpful for baking, so I like to have cans of this on hand as well. This is a fun treat that I recently found, and it doesn't have any added sweetener, which I like. It has coconut butter, cacao, MCT oil, and coffee. So an energy boost and a good chocolate treat. This is a new discovery I made. It's the Thrive Market brand. It's unbelievably delicious. I used to be a cereal addict, so when I switched to paleo, like I didn't even look at the paleo cereal options. I knew I just wanted to cut that out, but then I found this, and it's amazing. It's just made with coconut meat, coconut water, and some palm starch. So these are not like everyday, these are not meal foods. These are like fun foods that can help you transition to a grain-free paleo diet, because they're kind of similar to what you might be used to eating. don't base your life on this, don't base your meals on it, but it would have been really helpful for me to see when I was first making the transition that there are some substitutes to my familiar favorite foods. Okay, I'm going to show you my fridge. So I've got a lot of really cool paleo condiments and seasonings that I wish I knew about years ago, so I'm going to show you those. Specifically, I don't think these were available when I first started paleo, but you're lucky because they're available now. They are the Primal Kitchen brand of salad dressings and their mayonnaise, and this is fantastic. It makes paleo so much easier. So yes, I have 4 different salad dressing options from them currently in my fridge. I use this a lot. I also love this green goddess dressing over roasted cauliflower. That is my favorite dish right now. So other like seasoning condiment favorites I have in here, the garlic sauce from Coconut Aminos, really delicious on vegetables, cauliflower rice. This is a great relish, no sugar added, from Sweet Creek. Paleo option there. I've got vinegars down here, some nut and seed butters, which I like to keep in my fridge because they last a lot longer. I also love the Thai kitchen green curry paste and the red curry paste. I use a lot of that for adding paleo-friendly seasoning. And the rest of the fridge is pretty straightforward. I mean, I've got veggies and some food leftovers, some homemade pesto that I'm going to be sharing a recipe for soon. It's amazing. So that's the inside of my fridge. My freezer is kind of boring. I don't use that much frozen food anymore. I mean, I just do a lot of fresh produce and vegetables and use the condiments that I showed you. But what I do have in here is most of my nuts and seeds. They last a lot longer. You take care of the delicate fatty acids that are in them if they're stored in the freezer. So nuts and seeds over here. I've got some frozen meat, some frozen fish, some ice packs. Very exciting in there. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my kitchen. And again, please go check out that Thrive link if you want a discount on any of the ingredients that I mentioned here. So I've got a question for you, and that is, did you find an ingredient or a pantry staple that made your transition to a paleo lifestyle or a grain-free diet easier? And if so, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.